This is Dr. Greg Hall once again with Better Black Health, brought to you by Genetic Sequence Multivitamins, still the only multivitamins made, designed, formulated to best treat the best match the nutritional needs of African Americans, and also by the Better Black book, Better Black Health book, which is available on Amazon and any bookstores near you. I find out there are a ton of people that are hating on Amazon. I don't want to buy from Amazon, and I respect that. You go to Barnes and Noble, go to your local bookstore, and they can order it for you as well. Better Black Health, a comprehensive guide in the age of precision medicine. Today, thinking about precision medicine, our today's guest, Simeon Etoria. He's a wellness coach, public speaker, and founder of Cleanse and Heal Within. He works with people who feel burnt out and inconsistent, even though they're meditating, journaling, eating better, and genuinely trying to grow. Simeon's work focuses on the hidden patterns behind burnout, especially how food, stress, and identity shape the nervous system. I really got to find out about that. His approach is calm, practical, and refreshingly honest, helping people understand why they keep cycling and what actually helps change stick. Welcome, Mr. Simeon Etoria.
Thank you for having me. I truly appreciate it. Looking forward to having this
Yeah,
conversation. It's
so
most definitely needed.
absolutely. So here I am. I'm a physician. I'm a Black health proponent. I'm a father. All this stuff. And why did I want a hot dog today? and I on Friday the 30th, I wanted a hot dog. I looked at the pork, but I got it all beef, knowing full well that there is no redeeming quality in that hot dog. What made and you we can pass if you what made me want was there something that made me want a hot dog? I mean, and I have potato chips with it. It's terrible. I mean, you wouldn't how would only I would tell everyone, but that's what I had. A hot dog with potato chips with onions chopped on. But there's no redeeming quality, nothing green on my plate. My father would have been disappointed. Is there some deeper meaning behind me doing that or no?
Oh man. Yeah, so I would say conditioning.
Really?
One, conditioning, and then we taking so many bits at a time. So it says that we have 11 million bits that come in. Like just think of a whole bunch of information coming at one
Right.
time. We only pick up about 40 to 50% of the
Mm-hmm.
bits. So advertising today is meant to interrupt a pattern within you.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I'm plant based, and sometimes I'll go on social media and I'll see advertisement, and it'd be like a Hershey bar, and I'm like, I don't eat this. Why am I seeing
Right.
this? And then I go to the grocery store. I'm like, why do I want a Hershey bar? Like, no, I don't eat this stuff.
Right.
So they are literally putting themselves in front of us, and now we're wanting stuff without us knowing consciously. It's something that's in our subconscious saying, hey, this is what you're going to
Right.
eat. And if you can get a hold on it, it's going to get you. But I'll tell you this, congrats on going to
Right.
beef.
Thanks. Thanks. Well, it was a tough decision. I wanted the pork. I wanted and that could very well be because they're playing with us at a deeper level than a lot of us even half know, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
my sister called me and asked me if her husband, my brother-in-law, would want a WeatherTech gift for he had the liners in his car, which he said they have other WeatherTech stuff. You think he'd like that? Well, yeah, okay, yeah, that sounds fine. Yeah. Why do I see WeatherTech everywhere? I open my phone, it says WeatherTech. I go on the computer, it says WeatherTech. I'm like, what? This is some bull crap. Where is
Uh-huh.
that? And I'm not a WeatherTech person. You know what I mean? I get the mats, whatever the factory gives you. Those are my mats. But they're listening and they're trying to impact what we buy and what we think we want. So you would say I
Yes.
saw an Oscar Mayer commercials, and
Mhm.
they made the hot dog look good, and it just kind of took a while to sink through my healthy brain. Is that what
Yeah.
you would say?
Yeah. So, question for you, real quick. When have you last seen a broccoli commercial or advertisement?
I could say never.
When have you seen like an apple? Unless it's a local orchard, but when have you seen an apple commercial and they tell you eat an apple a day, keep the doctor away? When have you seen a commercial advertisement
I
for it?
haven't seen that. I haven't seen that
Yeah,
because it's not out.
they
They're not
haven't.
out there.
No, they're
Yeah.
not. So the whole thing is this is what we talked about is like the foods that we're eating.
Well,
So, but before we get into that, the interrupting, they have to interrupt your day.
mm-hmm,
So if you see something that comes to your subconscious, even if it's a brief moment, your subconscious will pick it up. Consciously, you may not have picked it up. So think of when you're driving home, you don't gotta look at
mm-hmm,
everything. You're taking in the
mm-hmm.
information. Have you ever driven somewhere and you were like, hey, how did I get here? I was not paying
Right.
attention. You are taking the information, and fortunately, it's a habit, but at the same time, if it's being thrown in you to interrupt your pattern, that's what they're doing. They're pattern
Mm-hmm.
interrupting to stop you, to give a new program into your subconscious for you to make a decision they want you to make.
And we would be healthier, you would say, if that didn't happen.
It would be healthier if we were more conscious of the
Mm-hmm,
pattern. So you said most people don't know. Most of us don't know this. The average person has no clue about this until you train yourself into
mm-hmm.
it. So it's marketing today. I want you to consider this. Most of the cereals and these foods were bought by cigarette companies back in the day.
What
And
by
what are
cigarette
they
company?
cigarette
Get out of here.
companies. So imagine the advertisement that they have. They could change everything, make something sound terrible or something terrible sound
Mm-hmm,
good, and put all this colors and pops in front of your
mm-hmm,
face and tell you it's
mm-hmm,
healthy. And then what you do is you believe in it until you go back and look at the back of the label and say, oh, this is what's going on.
mm-hmm.
So it's a pattern that until you consciously say, I'm looking at it, I'm looking for
Mm-hmm.
it, you won't be conscious to it.
So does this disproportionately affect Black people? Since this is Better Black Health, I mean, does this
Oh
disproportionately affect
gosh.
us?
My gosh, yes. Think of it. If so,
Where would
we
Kool
have what
Aid
is
be?
known.
Right? Where would Kool Aid be? Kool Aid would be out of business if it wasn't for Black people, or the Hall family at least. Right? We kept
Yeah,
Kool Aid
Kool-Aid
open
would be
for
out
a
of business.
long time. We kept Kool Aid open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would most definitely. So yes, when it comes to Black people, our people, most definitely. So this hurt my heart when I heard someone tell me this when I was younger. They said, if you want to hide money, where would you hide it?
I know it's I've got the opposite answer in the broad daylight or something, in the plain view or something. Like,
Well, at the time, for me, it was saying hide it in a book
right, right,
because people don't want to read it.
right,
They
right,
don't want to
right,
get the wisdom and knowledge.
right.
So it's like if you want to have money, hide it there. So our people, they're hiding, like you said, in plain
Mm-hmm.
sight, but we weren't taught and programmed to read what's actually going inside of our bodies.
Right, right.
So it's just a little gap of educating ourselves
So
more.
we're like a marketing mark almost. Like, they can we're more susceptible to marketing interventions than the majority population. You think?
Yes.
Hmm.
You ever heard How to Sell to a Negro?
No.
So the black dollar, so you look at the Caucasian, Asian, Hispanic, everyone several days. Caucasian Jews are like 30 to 45 days before their dollar gets in their hand and then goes
Hmm.
out. Hispanic about 15 days, Asians about 30 days, blacks 6 hours.
Come on.
Put it in their hand, pass it back out. That's how fast our dollar goes. So our dollar is valuable if we learn to hold on to it. So similarly, whenever you see everyone say they're going on strike, holding on to that, it takes a big or it makes a big hit in the economy.
Hmm.
But we weren't trained that way. But think of it like back whenever we had our elderly generations hiding their money under the mattress, and then you have these clans coming and burning down their
Hmm.
towns. So now it's like, oh, now I can't keep it. Now I must take it and give it out. So now it's a trauma
Hmm.
response, passing it.
Right.
But then it became buy, 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 buy. But if you could look it up, anybody stake it, hopefully it's still up. You could look up on YouTube how to sell to the Negro.
Wow.
And it'll show you a whole video of how they actually sell to the black mindset.
Wow. Which is, I don't even know if I want to read that. Right. But it'll tell you. It'll tell us something, though, huh? I mean, yeah, and there's a different approach. So we need to hang on to our money more. I mean, they had that day where, well, they've had it multiple days, and that's kind of where I fell off. But they had the one day, don't buy anything day, whenever that was. It was in the
Yeah,
fall sometime.
blackout.
Yeah, right, the blackout. That's what it was. And I didn't buy anything that day, but it took some work. When it was like 2 weeks earlier, I'm like, oh hell, I can do that. I can not buy anything. And then when the day came, it was like it was lunchtime. Oh no, wait, I didn't bring my lunch. Wait, I want pizza. Oh no, I can't. I'm on Amazon. Oh wait, I'll put it in my cart, but I won't buy it. It took
Yeah.
way more energy than I thought, and that's just like me in those 6 hours, the money coming in my hand and going out, just to show how much money goes out of me in a
Yeah.
day. You know what I mean,
Yeah.
right? And so
Yeah.
we need
Yeah.
to do we need to be more coordinated with it, because I was telling people that I'm not buying anything today, and they're black and they didn't know nothing. They didn't know anything about it, right? So I mean, so we need some kind of inner way to communicate. So, and then we need to
Yeah.
make it doable, so it's not like every day Black Friday, they want me to not buy on Black Friday. That's really hard because they got all those sales. I don't want to move out,
Yeah.
lose out on
Yeah.
those. But if we could coordinate, and if we could hang on to our money, and if we were more aware of what marketers are doing with us, our existence would we be more well? I mean, would we be healthier?
I think
Mm,
so. I believe so. One community. I love the old African proverb. This is one of my favorite quotes. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
right.
So if we become more combined or more union,
Mm,
then absolutely we'll see a shift, not just in ourselves, but we see it in the economy itself.
right. Right.
It'd be significant. And I want to say something before we move forward. So a while ago, you said that one day it took work. What you did was you interrupted a natural pattern you had and consciously made a decision to change that
Right.
pattern. That's why it's challenging for many people to start creating different things in their
Because of
life.
those pattern, because of
So
that pattern. So now you were
yeah.
talking about having, like, I mean, I know so many people who don't meditate, they don't journal,
Hmm.
they don't think
Yeah.
about eating better. They're not
Yeah.
genuinely trying to grow. They're not doing any of the things, and you're trying to not you're trying, but you're saying I want to really impact the people that are doing those things and are still unhappy. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
immediately
Yeah.
thought, well, I don't do any of those things. I do eating better, and I am genuinely trying to grow. But I don't
Yeah.
do journaling, and I don't meditate like I should. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's one of those
Yeah.
things. Like, but when there are people that are doing all that and are
Hmm.
still not what they think they should be, and that's
Yeah.
distressing to them, I imagine.
Most
Mm,
definitely, because you feel like you're doing the work and you feel like it's
and
not
it's not
working.
working. But what
Yeah.
outcome do you think they're looking for?
The problem is they forgot the outcome. A lot of times they're doing it now it's just for a checklist.
Mm,
So once it goes from like you have a vision of where you're going towards and working on yourself, your inner peace, your inner game, whatever you want to call
mm,
it, and then you go to like, I'm just going to check this
right,
box. Now it becomes another chore that you replace with knows that does the work. So at a point when you're not when you feel great, you feel good, and you stop doing the work, you forget what made you feel good
right,
and you stop doing the work.
right, right,
But when you go back into doing the work, you're like, oh my gosh, I feel great. I feel good. I feel
right,
awesome. But then when you make it about a checkbox and not about your well being, because now it becomes like I said, a chore. Now it's a habit. You're like, I got to check this off. I have to check it off. Now I get to do this. I feel like doing this. I have to. I have to. I have
right,
to. And that's when it
right.
shifts. So,
And I've
yeah.
seen that when people with particularly with journaling, they're doing it but they're checking a box. But in terms of what one box checking I'm doing is I'm trying to get on a treadmill 4 times a week, more days than not. You know what I mean? Like, 3 to 4 days, 30 minutes. It's a check box, but it's good for my health as well. You know what I mean? But it's
Yeah.
absolutely a chore. It's absolutely a chore, but it's a chore that I'm better off having done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And whether
Yeah.
I want to
Absolutely.
do it or not. And but so what you would say, because it is still a chore, and I don't look forward to doing it, but I'm being deliberate about doing it. Is there a way I
Mhm.
could look at it differently?
So yes. So you want to look at the outcome that you're looking for. So most of the time, people are looking at the stress of the call it a chore, if you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, action. They're looking at the stress of the
Mm,
action, and they're coming from a space of
mm,
resistance. So it's like I don't want to do this. So already you're putting your energy before you, saying I don't want to
mm,
do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. So you're leaning on willpower
mm,
instead of making it part of who you are. You're not integrating it to become part of your identity.
right.
So if you're looking and saying, you know what, I know the results of me going on this treadmill 4 times a week is going to give me my great heart health. It's going to give me more fit. It's going to allow me to have more
Mm,
endurance. That's the vibe that I want to
mm,
feel. That's the feeling that I want to be attached to, because now the emotion is attached to the
Mm.
outcome is better than the resistance. So, you mind if I go a
No,
little
go ahead. No,
spiritual?
please.
Okay, so beautiful. So in Exodus, God goes before in a day as a cloud and a night in fire.
Mm.
So our intention is similar to that. So if you say, I intend to do this, or I intend to go on the treadmill 4 times out of the
Mm.
week, what's your intention? Your intention is to go forward,
Mm.
right? I'm not saying I intend to go forward, but I'm going to hold on to this pain back here as I move forward. I'm going forward because I have an end goal.
Mm.
Your intention goes before you, and then you catch up to it.
Mm.
So the energy is different than you saying, I don't want to do
Mm.
this. This is going to suck.
Mm.
Um, and it goes like this once again. In the beginning was the Word was God, God was the Word.
Mm.
So if you are already saying, this is going to suck, I don't want to do this, your whole body, your subconscious is going to match the words that you're
Mm.
saying, which will then prevent you from feeling like you absolutely want to do it.
Right,
So
right.
it's
So
different.
it's like by not starting with God, you're all messed up to begin with.
Well, yes, that. And then also, if you're already putting the word out
Right.
there, because in the beginning was a word, if you're putting the word out there that this is going to suck, it's going to
Right,
suck.
no question about it. Right, right. And we
Yeah.
talk about that, in the previous podcast about expectations of side effects, not hating to be on medicine. I hate medicine. Not I'd rather not be on. No, I hate medicine. It's like I have little pills, say 3 little pills. I put in my hand, I put it in my mouth. It takes 3 seconds, and there are people that absolutely hate that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think, why
Yeah.
do you hate it? I love it. You know what I mean? 'Cause it brings my blood pressure down, allows me to eat a hot dog sometimes, you know, and I love the fact that something exists that'll bring my blood pressure down. So your
Yeah.
point, it's my attitude that I love the fact that medicine exists that will bring my blood pressure down, that'll bring my
Mhm.
cholesterol down, and my father and my grandfather who died prematurely didn't have access to that, right? And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
but it starts in the brain. So now when I have people who have a blood pressure of 185 over 105 and they hate not just medicine but the idea of medicine. Oh God, please tell me something else I can do. What's the first step in trying to reframe that?
Think about, you have to make them go to the end result, because the whole thing is the end result. We are so accustomed to pain. We're so accustomed to not having. We're accustomed to lack.
Mhm.
When we go to a different space, because they're so accustomed that your energy and your feelings on that. So think of it. You said it starts in the brain.
Mhm.
You're right. It says it starts with a thought. Our thoughts, we have multitude of thoughts in a
Mhm.
day. They become a belief.
Mhm.
They become our identity.
Mhm.
So now we're acting out of our identity without thinking about
Right.
it. So if you're saying, I absolutely hate medicine, I hate
Mhm.
this, you're always going to be that way until you break that pattern.
Right.
So get them to look at the end result and attach their emotion to that, because they're attached is it's a big why. Everyone here has I don't want to say everyone. I pray eventually when you wake up and you see what's going on with yourself, you look forward and say, this is what my vision is forward. And that vision drives you.
Right.
You have an end goal, you have an end feeling of what that would make you feel like in your life.
So your blood
So
pressure is
always make them look at
180
the
over
end.
105. You feel
Mhm,
fine, but your doctor tells you,
mhm,
my God, that's high. You're going to have a stroke. You're going to have a heart attack.
mhm.
You're going to have kidney failure. What do I tell them next? You know what I'm saying? I mean, to imagine that they feel fine, but it's about things are about to the wheels are about to fall off the truck. You know what I mean? So how do I what would you suggest? This is like a therapy session for
Yeah.
me. What would you suggest I tell them?
No, you did a great part right there. You pointed out their pain, because we're so accustomed to the
Mm,
pain. So they know what that feels like. No one likes the feeling of it until we sit there, unless we're numb to
right.
it. They don't like the feeling of it. Then what you do is you offer them a
Mm,
doorway. You could have a stroke, you could have this is gonna happen. However, there's a chance we could change it. You just put a bridge there and you said, if you do this, this, and this, now you gave them a
mm,
solution. You cover their pain. You give them the bridge to say, hey, there's a way we could change
right.
this. Here's a solution. So all their mind is going from, I need to get away from this pain. He's given me opportunity for this. And then now he told me 3 things I could do that would change it all.
Right. And it's not about having a lower blood pressure. It's not that. It's something that's tangible for them. Right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I think that's one. But wow, it's a deep. And so what what should I do to become more aware of the influences that are out there that are manipulating me to become more aware of them. You know, what I mean, I wouldn't have thought second about the hot dog if we hadn't come together. You know, what I mean, you said food is involved. Food is involved some kind of way, right? And you know, so
Yeah.
I mean, like, so what can we do? What sort of things can we tell ourselves um,
Hmm.
that would help?
Oh, so one, you just did it. You did an amazing job already. You asked a question.
Mm,
Once you asked that question, awareness just came in. It's like, okay, now I'm going to be more aware of this because it says, think of it this way. What's the latest vehicle you purchased? Just
yeah,
example.
it's a Porsche Cayenne.
Okay,
Mm,
beautiful. Before you bought that, did you see many of them on the road where you're at?
yeah, not many of them, but I
Here and
saw
there?
some. Yeah,
Yeah. Did you see it more often after you bought it?
definitely. I started to see the
Mm-hmm.
color. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I bought a car I thought was a unique color, and then I saw that color
Yeah.
everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So you put your awareness on something and now you're seeing it more
Hmm.
often. These are the bits that we're talking
Right,
about. So the same thing, whenever you ask that question, is opening more awareness for
right.
yourself. But how can we do it in our day to
Hmm.
day? Number one question I always ask myself throughout the day, and I ask to
Hmm.
myself, who am I being right now?
Hmm.
Who am I being right
Right,
now? And then if something comes up, am I in control or is something else in control?
right, right.
Because now is letting me know, is this my choice? If I'm going to Amazon and you're doing the, what do you call it, the impulse
Yeah,
buying, it's like, hold on, am I in control or is this in control, something
right.
else? So you ask yourself that question, because now if you don't bring awareness to it, it's going to get you.
Yeah, if you don't have any even hand of awareness, so it is going to
Yeah.
get you right. So you should be asking yourself periodically throughout the day, what am I doing, and
Hmm.
how do I feel, and am I being manipulated? Those type of things, or if that's a concern, I mean, or am
I
I
would
being the
say
best me, right?
yes, yes. I'd be mindful of the word, 'cause if you say, "Am I being manipulated?" Then if you're doing that too often, you could fall into paranoia.
Right,
And we don't want somebody staying in paranoia. So that's why I was like, who am I being right
right.
now? And then, am I in control of this situation
Right,
or is someone else?
right. Well, I remember one of my mentors who's gone now, Dr. Edgar Jackson. He was a chief of staff for a big hospital in Cleveland, and he was the first black male, doctor to be chief of staff way before anyone black was doing stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I talked to him about it, and he said I prayed on the steps of that hospital every morning before I went in. Help me to be the best, this, that, or the other. He said every morning, right? And so since he told me that, as I'm going to work, I'm praying like, let me be the best doctor. Let me be a blessing to everyone I meet. Let me just try to, just not don't kill anyone. You know what I mean? But really try to be a blessing. You know what I mean, to
Yeah.
some, which is even
Yeah.
more than just let me see people I can see. And it has
Yeah.
changed. And I'm a happy person, all right. So, but it's really improved my quality of my work day, which I usually
Yeah.
am waiting for it to end. You know what I'm saying? I go in with
Yeah.
like looking at
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
end, but the fact that I
Yeah.
say, well, I really everyone I touch, I want to be a blessing to, has increased the quality of my day.
Yeah.
Is that the
Yeah.
reason why?
That's that intention we were talking about earlier.
Hmm.
You set that intention before you even go into it. It's like, hey, let me be a blessing to somebody. How can I serve people? Let me be the best version of myself as I walk through these
Right,
doors. You set that intention, and that intention went before
right,
you. And now you're not looking like, oh, let me look at my time. Is the day running
right.
low? You're being more present.
Right, right, and
So yeah.
that intention is what you've been talking about the whole time, and now I think I got it. Is that putting that ahead
Hmm.
versus just figuring out how the day works. Let's see how this day's going. I don't know how this day's going to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then it's in someone else's hands, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Then you are, I like to put it this way. So either you're conscious or
Mm,
unconscious. And how I look at it as unconscious is the fact that, think of it like you're sitting in the back seat of your vehicle of life
mm,
and someone else is driving your vehicle. And eventually you get so comfortable, you see a little blanket over there, you put the blanket on top of you, you're like, oh, go ahead, you got this. And then you're like, oh, this is too comfortable. It's like you get in a baby car seat and let someone else drive the wheel of your life. That's what unconsciousness feels
Hmm.
like. So if we're not looking at these things, these patterns, these interruptions they're put in front of
Hmm.
us, they will control our lives and decide our decisions without us being aware of them deciding our decisions. That's how wild this
Right.
is.
Well, so we have to be more aware. And then how does that you talk about nervous system stress, and how
Mhm.
does that figure in?
Okay. So let's say, for instance, we had the two nervous system of the sympathetic versus
Hmm.
parasympathetic. Sympathetic, fight or flight, the parasympathetic, more calm, relaxed
Hmm.
state. Most of us right now, because we're on a go, 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 we're always like, how do we figure out this? How do we get that? We're in the sympathetic nervous
Hmm.
system. So we're always, our cortisol is high, our anxiety is high, our worries are high. So when we're doing this, our brain is going all over the place. It's something called monkey mind. It's just going all over the
Hmm.
place. So we're not able to be as present as we would like to be in our lives. Either we're focused on our pains and hurts of the past, or we're worried about the bills and whatever's going on in the future. So it's like we're here physically, but mentally and emotionally, we're elsewhere. And this is where you see people check out as parents, you see people check out in schools, or check out in just day to day
Hmm.
life because we're not being present. So when we calm that nervous system down, it allows us to be more present, more in our space right here, right
Hmm.
now, and actually I like to call it like actually live life instead of existing because I once lived in a place where I wasn't present. I was always just all over the place and I felt like I was just existing. I was no
No,
longer
no
living.
living, right. And then that's where depression and anxiety and all those things kind of come out of that, and they don't really know where that is. And that's when people are meditating, like they've been told, you need to do this, you need to do that. So then they start doing those things. And I still feel the same way. I mean, I saw a guy yesterday said, I've been depressed my whole life. They tried medicine, and that half the time that just made me worse. But
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, what would make you happy? You know what I'm saying? I don't.
Yeah.
And but is that something you would advance to someone like that? I mean, where medicine only the antidepressants usually help, but in this case, he felt them paralyzing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And but he's still seeking this life where he's not depressed.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say it's a balance.
Hmm.
So like I said, antidepressants, if it's that severe, of course, physical
Hmm.
activity, of course, your breath
Hmm.
work, but then also how are you eating?
Eating.
Because that nervous system also plays a part in our digestion.
Wow.
If our nervous system, we're in the high cortisol, we're in this sympathetic nervous system, fight or
Right.
flight, our digestive system starts slowing down. So processing our food doesn't happen as efficiently as if we were in a parasympathetic nervous system.
Wow. Wow.
So if we are stressed out, we have the vagus nerve connected to the brain and the
Hmm.
gut. If we're stressed out, our digestion's off. If we're eating bad, our brain is off. There's something going on. It's always
Get
communicating.
out of here.
Always.
Wow. And
Yes.
so
Yeah.
what we eat can throw our brain off.
What we eat can throw our days
Right.
off, our life off, our balance off.
Really.
So yes,
And so is that
yes,
where, like, so now you mentioned at the beginning you were vegetarian. So is that is that part of it? I mean, it's like, there are people that don't poo poo pork, for example.
yeah, yeah,
I don't eat eggs, for example, but it's because I don't like them. But
yeah.
I eat most things in moderation. I eat meat in moderation. I try to disproportionately eat vegetables and fruit. But in some ways, eating meat is detrimental to our health. You would say.
I would say it depends. So I just had a conversation with someone recently that said the blood type.
Uh,
So, but us as our people in our region, legumes are great for
right.
us. Um, and then being mindful of where you're sourcing your meat.
Right.
So I believe there's a document called "Eating Yourself to
Mm.
Extinction," and it talks about exactly what you're seeing, the pus inside the meat of the market that you're getting, and then they're dyeing or spraying your meats because meat is not red; it's brown once it's
Right.
dead. So sourcing our meats itself depending on what you're putting inside your body. So when you're looking at even fish, you're looking at farm raised fish compared to wild
Mm.
caught. Farm raised fish, they pump it full of antibiotics. Antibiotics what messes with your good microbes in your gut, good and
Mm.
bad. So most of your immunity is in your gut, so we want to be mindful of that. Your meat itself, if you're eating something that's put in bunched up in a warehouse, this
Mm.
market on
Right.
hormones, pumped full of grains, we're eating that do you not think we're taking that into our
Right,
bodies as
right.
well?
So even like something
So
like a
yeah.
free range chicken is you would say was definitely better than something raised that never walked around.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So you have, of course, you have good, better, best. You have good versus evil.
Yeah,
It's like choose a lesser
right,
one.
right,
Yeah.
right. Well, that's good. Simeon Etoria, is there a way we can follow you on on social media or anything?
Yeah, absolutely. You could just look up my name, Simeon Etoria here. I'm pretty much on almost all
Okay.
platforms.
And cleanse and heal. You reach you. What tell us about what that does? What do they do? What-
Yeah, so Cleanse and Heal Within, we do have a supplement
Mhm,
line. However, we do coaching. We have a challenge that's coming up. I focus on 90
mhm.
days because I believe it 21 days to make or break a habit, 66 to make it automatic, 90 is where we're working on that prefrontal cortex.
Wow.
So we make it 90 days. So this way we start integrating the work for people to become who they are. So yeah, so Cleanse and Heal Within is the product line, but of social media, anything, if I want to get in touch with me, they could book a call when it comes down to the 90-day work.
Absolutely.
So
Well,
yeah.
I'm going to post, your website and all that will be in the little message thing on YouTube and in the spot wherever you listen to your podcast. Thanks so much, Simeon Etoria. You have just been a wealth of information. I appreciate the way you break things down. I appreciate you reaching out, and I appreciate you forgiving me for missing our appointment last week. and I wish,
You're absolutely
and I
fine.
wish you well. Thanks again.
As well as you. Thank you.
None of the statements that I have made have been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Genetic sequence multivitamins are not intended to treat, cure, or prevent any diseases. Furthermore, none of my statements should be construed as dispensing medical advice or making claims regarding the cure or prevention of diseases. You should consult your own licensed healthcare provider before starting any supplement, diet change, or exercise program, especially if you're pregnant or have pre-existing injuries or medical conditions. Remember, having a doctor is always your best option.